The liter class sport bike market in India has two new entrants. One is brand new. The other one's not so new, but it's new to the market and it's considered the best motorcycle you can buy in the class. Today, we're at Chennai and we're going to find out how these two motorcycles square off against each other. But because we have the two top liter class motorcycles in the world right now, we decided to get two liter class people to test it. And those would be Anand Dharmaraj, founder Indy Motard and lead instructor at the TWO track school that Indy Motard and Overdrive run. And Siddharth Sid Trivalort, who heads Vidium and is the man behind California Superbike School, India. Both are extremely fast, extremely skilled riders who also happen to be part of the CNBC TV18 Overdrive Awards jury. These two mad fast riders and I took to the MMRT in Chennai. Anand went first on the BMW S1000RR.
So first impressions on the BMW S1000RR, the bike as such is a very thrilling motorcycle to ride. I would definitely caution beginners when they first jump on this motorcycle because I think it's really geared towards a more professional rider. It's not very friendly in terms of, the power delivery is very aggressive. When you go into the corners, it tends to, the back tends to come out. When you come out of the corners, the front wheel tends to lift. So, you tend to have to work very hard on this motorcycle. But having said that, if you can get to terms with how to ride this motorcycle, it can be extremely fast, probably quicker than most other liter bikes in this class.
The BMW RR, as the Germans like to refer to it, definitely comes on a bit strong. It feels bigger as well as more potent than the Suzuki, and it's a thrill ride. It's easy to ride initially and then it sort of frightens you a little when you start you're ready to play with it. The Suzuki couldn't be more different in this regard. When you park two motorcycles like this next to each other, some of the differences become obvious. For example, it's very clear that the BMW's handlebars are set lower, the Suzuki has a higher set of handlebars, and that should make it easier to ride in the city if you're riding a Suzuki. But what blows me away every single time for motorcycles like this today is how small they've become. Think about it like this. These two are some of the highest performance motorcycles money can buy today on the planet. All motorcycles in this class are at that stratospherically high level, but they are so small. There are motorcycles, Indian motorcycles, sports bikes with 300, 400cc engines that are as large as these or larger. And that always beggars belief. How can a motorcycle packing this much performance be so damn small? But as the saying goes, performance is only as good as your ability to use it, right? This becomes a little bit clearer when you hop on to the Suzuki.
The Suzuki GSX-R1000, personally I thought this was a wonderful motorcycle. I really enjoyed riding it. Straight out of the box, it doesn't take much getting used to. You take it out on the racetrack and you feel like you kind of belong on this motorcycle. It's so easy, the handling is very confidence inspiring. The power delivery is smooth. It's it feels more like a 600 than a 1000cc, although the power is strong and obviously much more than a 600. In the handling department, the way it feels, how light it feels, I really think it's a wonderful motorcycle overall. And this is a motorcycle that you could also use on the street because it's not as aggressive as the BMW. So the riding position as well is not as down low as you would expect from a liter class sport bike. So I think it's a pretty usable motorcycle on the street as well. So overall I think a great package from Suzuki, and I would definitely put my money down for one.
I've ridden it before here at Chennai, and the R version is just beautiful. Fantastic value for money, I think, for the kind of price point that it is. Everything that it has on the BMW, I think, comes on the Gixxer, except maybe a couple of things on the electronic stuff. But it's beautiful out of the box. It's so much more agile through the corners. It feels like it's slower, but it just accelerates so quickly. There's an element of the Gixxer 1000 that you just fall in love with. It's got a lot of soul. And that, I think, was very appealing to me with respect to the Suzuki.
It's true. I've maintained from my first ride at the Curry Speedway in Coimbatore that the Suzuki is special. It calms you down and lets you ride as fast as you can while you remain confident and happy, and that makes you faster. The BMW feels more like a specialized weapon. You start to wonder if you have the capability to use it. It makes you feel a little bit lacking even, and that would be hard for a relatively new rider, right?
So unlike the BMW S1000RR, I think the GSX-R, if you're looking to buy a liter class bike for the first time, and if you're a novice, this bike is definitely the one for you. It's not nearly as aggressive as the BMW, not nearly as intimidating, and you can kind of take your own time with it. And because it's so well planted and the handling is so well sorted out, it kind of makes you feel like you're a better rider than you actually are. So if you're a novice looking at buying a liter class bike, or if you're moving up from a smaller displacement bike to a liter class bike, this would definitely be a good place to start.
So perhaps Chennai is just a little too small for bikes this powerful to really come out and play. But even at a track like this, it's immediately obvious that the difference between the liter class motorcycles today is very, very small. And that said, they are some of the best liter class motorcycles we have ever seen, because for motorcycles this powerful to be this compact and this easy to ride is just unprecedented. What it boils down to is something that I have always said, that motorcycles are about how they make you feel, not about the spec sheet or price. And that's how this verdict goes as well. You've heard Anand's version of the story, you've heard Sid's version of the verdict, but my feeling is that if I had to choose between these two bikes, I'm in awe of the BMW. It is so good and so fast, but I keep feeling like the electronics work harder than I do. And therefore, I would pick the Suzuki, because what it reminds me of is a really powerful 600cc motorcycle, something I can relate to more easily, something that gives me more confidence, something I can take and push as fast as I can go and learn 1,000 things from it. And that brings us to the verdict. To me, this is the motorcycle to buy. But to you, the answer is in a BMW or a Suzuki showroom, where you should get a test ride before you decide.